Hello, what's up? I am back with yet another movie review of the day. And well, it's night time now, but you know what I mean. 2 movie reviews in a row. I haven't done that for quite a while actually. That should be what I should be doing more often, but you know what it is. And it's yet another action movie I'm going to be reviewing. And that is called The Enforcer. And I don't know what to think of this movie. It's good, but with less action. I would explain it more anyway. There's not much else to talk about in this movie. I'm just going to skip over the boring parts. So basically it starts off with this guy called Cuda. It's kind of like a juxtaposition, this scene where they show it towards the end. And he's played by Antonio Banderas, or Banderas, however you want to pronounce it. I don't really watch any of his movies. I'm pretty sure he's one of those I've only heard that name in Western type movies. I don't know where it was. I've heard of him, but I've never watched any of his movies until now. Unless I have done, and I probably just didn't notice. But he's not too bad of an actor, to be honest. And then it cuts off to this guy called Stray, who does fighting, and Kudo wants to wants him to do a job with him, and helps him out and stuff like that. And he tells him to go to this guy called Ronnie, or to introduce himself, and then he tells Ronnie to actually beat him up. And then Kuda decides to take Ronnie out due to money stuff, financial type stuff going on. And then Stray goes to this person's house. No, he goes to this club. Sorry, he goes to this club and he meets someone called Lexus, like a dancer or something like that. Asks her out, just the boring parts. He then meets someone called Estelle, and then Doom. I think Doom is part of her security or something like that. And Estelle is the boss of doing these type of dodgy businesses or whatever. And then he tells Stray to do that. She does sweet talking by saying something. I kind of forgot what it was, but I don't think it was that much of a big deal inside the movie. And then Kuda takes him to a golf course. He pays some woman called Olivia, pays her some money to play golf. I don't know what it was, but it was a scene before they just start hitting golf balls. And then Kuda says you can't make, if anybody asks you where you were, they say you went golfing. Next scene cuts into it, and we see, Kuda just sitting down, just relaxing, and then she sees a girl called Billy, a teenager called Billy, and he knows that she was shoplifting, and then I think the worker or whatever that was just trying to snatch the bag off her, tugging the bag, and then Kuda being said, sort the situation about paying for Billy's shopping, but stuff Billy stole. Not right, but he paid for it anyway, so yeah, can't really argue with that one. And then they start talking somewhere and they get to know each other, and Billy has nobody, and he puts up into a motel for a week or something like that. And then Kuda comes back to the hotel after a while. I mean, before that he talks to his daughter, wants to pick his daughter from school. But that really is not an important scene anyway. That's not really that big of a scene. So, cut straight to the point. He tries to go door to him, but then he sees a door being opened, and he sees there's stuff on the floor, kind of like a break-in basically. And yeah, so he finds out Billy is kidnapped. So then he wants to try and get her back. So he gets Stray to help him out, and he gets a job for Stray. And then they proceed to try and look for her. And they go to this Chinese dude's place. A restaurant where this Chinese, I think manager is that or whatever it was, the guy with the bow tie. Didn't quite see the dude's name. So talks to him, and then and then he sees I think that the money clip, where the clip they put on the money that Kuda gave to Billy, and then he gets forced an answer of him. He's like, oh, it's just this way he is, blah blah. And then Kuda goes to a motel and confronts the dude that works there. Confronts the dude that works there, and then he shoots his leg and he says, where is she? And then he's like, oh, it's just I think he's mentioned someone called Freddy. Someone that has some sort of business Freddy owns somewhere. And yeah, so they both talk to Estelle. Estelle was it's important that Stray takes a seat, because Stray knows that part of town, he knows the dodgings that goes on. Yeah, so they go out, and then Kuda wants to join in, so they get to this And what do you even call this? Some hidden. It's not even hidden. It's like some secret underground. Some, I don't know what you call it. Something dodgy where dark web stuff happens, basically, if you put it that way. Goes in there and sees all these girls locked up, and it was actually quite disturbing, to be quite honest, considering I'm a dad, so stuff like this is going to affect me a bit more than it usually would. Well, any sane person will get affected by stuff like this. So goes in and he meets like Freddy and some guy called Paycheck. Paycheck, what sort of name is Paycheck? And what sort of name is Straight? I don't really get these names. I think they kind of nicknames on some gang with dodgy type nicknames they give to each other without giving their real identity away. And then Freddy starts saying, no, I think, was it this? Yeah, Cuda starts asking, oh, have you got my money? Freddy gives him like $500,000. Now, people start reading, oh wait, he owns it, yeah. Basically, Cuda is part of like, I think it's all about business, because why would Freddy pay him back for something like this? So, in my mind, I was like, okay, so Cuda is obviously having some part of ownership in this, but he doesn't like it. So I don't know. I'm a bit confused with that bit, but he did go to prison, and I think he is. I don't know. He has a lot of cash. He just keeps waving cash. I don't know where he gets it from. So that's the crazy thing right there. I don't know where he gets the cash from, but yeah, he's a pretty rich dude. I think he owns businesses and stuff something like that. And it's hard to explain what he actually does. We don't really get to see it. And you see Billy getting dragged by this guy. I wouldn't say dragged, but no, sort of like the guy's not let go of her, and then he sees and he recognizes her, but I don't think she noticed him, to be quite honest, unless she did, and she just got angry at him a lot, but yeah, walks out, and still was like, what's going on? He said, that's Billy and the child. And yeah, so they go back to Estelle's office, and this is where a bit of tension comes into it. Estelle, kind of is partly running that business. She did mention about dark web and black stuff happening, crypto kind of stuff. She'll say it anyway. You know what I'm talking about. And then she proceeds to get Doom to attack him with part of a retirement plan or whatever that means. Yeah, that's what I call it terms. I think it means something, getting beaten up just to escape or get killed or something like that. I think because he also knew and found out about some stuff that she knew he would attack it or something like that. He would kill or something. I don't know. And then Doom is beating him up senselessly. And then Estelle, so we went for a kill, and then Estelle tries to blackmail and sort of manipulate straight into fighting for her. But then he eventually hits a bottle over Doom's head, being that then Doom starts to attack him and breaks his arm. And then, oh my god, this is hectic, man. And Estelle comes in, and Estelle has a gun. As soon as she's about to take the shot, there comes Lexis, boom. Head shoots her, and damn, saves her life right there. And obviously, Cuda grabs Doom's shotgun, boom, blasts shotgun into the chest, or I think chest or something like that. It definitely wasn't the head. Somewhere along in the body anyway, so yeah. Pretty cool name, that Alexis. I can't lie, it's a very cool name. Never really thought of that. I've heard of Lex, like Alexis, but Lexis, but with an U after the X. That's kind of cool. And yeah, so this is the part where Cuda wants to actually save the girls, but especially Billy. Goes back into that place, starts to get redemption, taking all the dudes out, and then he starts coming face to face with Freddy. And he was, and I think somebody, he shoots Freddy, and he wanted to let Freddy bleed out so he can suffer a lot more. And yeah, so he did save her one night, and Billy was pointing the gun at him. I think she kind of found out about him and kind of what he was into. Yeah, bad move that. Yeah, sometimes it's best not to tell people you actually do in certain situations like him. Situations like his situation anyway. Yeah, so it's kind of like tells her to put the gun down. They go away, and then he tells Stray and Lexis to get her away as fast as possible. Pretty good idea. It's kind of a dangerous town or wherever they're at there anyway, so it's kind of a good idea. Yeah, and here it comes towards the ending where he kind of nearly bleeds out. But then also then also like during whilst he was walking towards like the tree, his daughter comes out and she kind of like sees a note, sees some sort of picture when she was a baby when he was holding her, and she started getting upset. And I think he gave her a new car or something like that. I don't know what it was. The car was just left her, so I don't know who it was for. I think it was probably his daughter, Lola, but I don't. I mean, I don't know her age. Maybe she's 18 and she can't be a job. I don't know. That part wasn't clear to me. And yeah, so I mean, we also see that Medina, who he was talking to, Medina was saying just got out of prison, stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't want to mention that part because it is boring in the movie, so I wasn't going to mention that. And you come to against the real end after he, I think, bleeds out to death because you don't see him again at the end. And then it cuts straight in the garage, fixing this guy's van or vehicle, whatever that vehicle was, right? Fixing it, repaired it. The guy drives off and he hears this music that he said before, and he tells Billy to turn it up. Excuse me, I'm burping a bit there. Probably that fizzy drink I'm drinking. Anyway, but yeah, turn it up, and yeah, so it just ends like that basically. I skipped through the boring parts. So most of the scenes where Stray was paying somebody for rent or something. I didn't want to go through the boring parts. I mean, I only got through the nitty gritty parts. Rating for this is difficult because I was gonna give it a 7, but then the acting wasn't bad. I liked the dialogue. The dialogue was kind of nice. The passionate acting from Kuda, I mean, was brilliant. You know, Antonio played that character very, very well. Bear that in mind, and I like that. You know, I didn't mind Stray's character. I think I don't know. I mean, Stray for me, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't feeling this character as much when he was showing the fighting scene. I was like, okay, this could be a good action movie. The sounds of it. There wasn't as much action. I know it's meant to be a thriller. There wasn't enough action for me, to be quite honest with you, apart from the ending part, apart from Estelle. That's really it. It was just mainly just talking. I'm not into that. But because of what the movie is about, and because of what he did to that girl and how touching it was at the end when he saved her life, okay, he was always going to do in these type of movies, but it's quite touching. And I'm going to be generous here. I'm going to give it an 8. Now, at first I was like, does it deserve an 8? Maybe it deserves a 7. But because of how touching it was, I was like, got to be a bit generous here. Well, no, I'm not going to. It's kind of a questionable rating, I guess, but it doesn't deserve a 9 or a 10. There wasn't hardly enough action for me in a sort of movie. An hour and a half, I've seen more action in other movies with that sort of genre than I have in this type of movie. So it was kind of disappointing. There was more talking than action. The passionate acting, passionate characters. Yeah, I think Kuda was the only character that, I don't know, like, I was actually feeling in terms of like the passion and the energy and the vibes. The rest of the characters didn't really do it for me, so it was quite disappointing. But overall, I kind of like the ending. So you know what, I'm going to be generous to that. It kind of touched me at the end when you kind of rescued her. You know, those kind of moments are touching the songs. You got Knock Up Parade right there. 7, fair enough. I mean, yeah, it doesn't deserve a 9 or a 10. I can't see it being an amazing movie. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I mean, it's okay / good movie, I guess. So yeah, 8 out of 10 it is. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like, comment, share it with me, subscribe and hit the bell notification below. As I'll see you in my next video.